Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome everybody to Let's Humanize the Workplace. My name is Vivian Acquah. I'm a certified inclusion strategist and also a CQ facilitator, so cultural intelligence facilitator. If you want to know more about me or cultural intelligence, please, read my posts or watch the recent articles as well, because it can be a deal maker, and also it can add to your competitive advantage. And today's guests, where do I start? Because when you look at your team, and you look at people being added, but also people walking away or moving to another position as well. And sometimes people assume that when you add in just a few ingredients, that the recipe will magically happen, or the dish will become a carrot cake or something else that is tasty as well. And also know that, yes, I will talk about food. That's my style, but sometimes I see people being added with not the proper onboarding, not the proper communication, and also not the ideal recipe that can benefit from effective team collaboration, right? I've been following our current guest speaker for quite a while now, even bought his tools. He's definitely going to share some of his tools as well, but also know that he shared on his website, he shared that above 71% regarding collaboration, regarding meetings are not effective. And if more than 70% is sharing that it's not effective, then how effective can you lead as a manager, or how effective can your team be, right? So with no further ado, today's guest, I'm going to share more about Mehdi En-Naizi, and he is the workshop facilitator, also podcast host, and the creator of the workshop that he helps teams work better together by designing energizing, outcome-driven workshops that tap into collective intelligence so that progress feels inclusive, human, and memorable. Thank you, Mehdi, for joining.
Thank you for having me, Vivian. What
Yeah.
an amazing introduction. You're doing that so well. What a host.
I have to do that. I have to spice things up, right? It's not going to be we are not going to copy paste what is happening in meetings, right? This is all about facilitating, but also creating that magic that people are sometimes missing in their teams, in collaboration as well. And I don't see any difference in us having a meeting which is energized, but also facilitating this conversation, which is also energized. I hope it's late in the evening, but still, I'm really looking forward to have this conversation with you, because collaboration, in a way, it's dead. It needs to be revamped, revitalized, rejuvenated. And you are one of the guest speakers that I'm speaking in the upcoming weeks to rejuvenate this collaboration, or this thing that people talk about. Our teams are broken, or there is an empathy deficit, or there's a facilitation deficit, or meetings are not working, people are not listening. So with no further ado, let's start with the first question. What is your definition of humanizing the workplace?
So it feels like a test that I'm in front of university and I need to answer this
No, it's
question.
not a test. It's not a test. No, no, no. I want to keep this fun, engaging, and enlightening.
No,
But everybody has a different definition of what they can connect with humanizing the workplace. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because oftentimes people have shared with me that they feel like they are treated as a number. They feel like they
yeah,
cannot bring their human self into the workplace. And given that you started on your own right now, you are doing the consulting thing on your own at the moment right now. And it makes me wonder, in a way, why, but also makes me wonder, what is it that you have to add to humanize the workplace?
yeah. It's a great question and a great intro linked with the
Yeah.
question. So
Mm-hmm.
what I would say is that, as you said, like for many people in many organizations, like people are almost like a tool. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
they package it better and they say we are a team
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
they expect you to perform tasks and to work the way they imagine that you will. And I think that humanizing the workplace is like creating a space where people can show up as human Like everyone is
Mm.
different, everyone has their own values, emotion, personal life, their own story. And if you hire this
Mm-hmm.
person in the first place, is because of that. So it's
Yeah.
about creating the space where those people can shine and where they can
Mm-hmm.
be at their best. That I would say
Yeah.
that it's my definition. And I worked in consultancy for 9 years, which is one of the
Mm-hmm.
industry, where like there is a bad reputation about people management because again, like people are numbers, it's about timesheet, it's about like there's
Mm-hmm.
a big turnover. So I've
Yeah.
seen that in one of the worst industry when it comes to people management.
True. I have been a consultant myself as well, so I get where you're coming from, but also not every leader, manager knows how to manage or lead a team. I would say lead a team or inspire and empower their team. And given to what we are doing, we want to help empower those teams, help them to rejuvenate, help them to bring that magic back. Because whether you work in consultancy, whether you work in a corporate, whether you work for the government, there is nobody shares the magical recipe that we know to
Mhm.
rejuvenate, to bring back the effective collaboration back in the workplace. It's not a rocket science, but if you're not accustomed to it and you don't know how to tap into that magic, then that's what will happen, right? That's when the teams will not function effectively, but also you will not get the magic out of the people as well.
Yeah. And like my friend Said Saduk always say this, like you cannot know what you don't know. So
True,
like
true. Yeah,
so
yeah.
when we discovered like that there is a way that the work doesn't need to be painful, that you can
Mm-hmm.
like create a new experience and everyone is engaged and
Yeah,
everyone is happy to be there, like
yeah.
you see that it's possible. And most of the
Mm-hmm.
time, like
Definitely.
you mentioned one of the statistic, like we believe that that's the way it is. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this meeting is going to be painful. My day to day in this company is going to be hard. And
Yeah,
again, this is how I will get my money and I will suffer and everywhere is the same. But it doesn't
yeah.
have to be this way. And
Yeah, but also what you were saying regarding, I call it the fixed mindset mentality, where people assume like this is the way things needs to be done and there's no way of changing
Mhm.
that. But wouldn't you rather leave a meeting energized? At least I do. I want to be inspired. I want to leave with my brain going all over the place and also making some time to marinate on that, right? So oftentimes teams are people are being planned for back-to-back meetings. That's not helpful for collaboration, especially when you want to do it effectively, and also especially when people need to be energized, tap into their high performance. So please, please, please stop planning the back-to-back and also bring in 10-minute breaks or 15-minute breaks because that will help people.
and it's like you use all those words like it's about empowering people. And this is why
Mm-hmm.
you want to create that space where it's going to be energizing, it's going to be fun. But before,
Yeah.
like the way I see it, because I'm again pragmatic and consultant. First thing
Mm-hmm.
first is that if we decided to have a meeting, if we decide to gather, is because there is
Yeah.
a reason and there should be an outcome to
Mm-hmm.
reach. So the first
Yeah.
thing is like we want this to be effective so that we reach the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
obviously we want to bring the human aspect on top of it and try
Mm-hmm.
also to make it engaging, fun, and empower people to motivate them to take the next actions, to take what needs to
True.
happen to for the ambition that I don't know the team has or that you also have within the organization.
I believe so. I'm going to share a next question, which I am currently asking all my guest speakers. What is your favorite song that energizes you while working? Hopefully, by the end of the season, I can share a playlist that can help people with empowering or re energizing themselves.
It's gonna be it's gonna be funny, man. My
Okay.
favorite song when I do deep work or even like in the
Mm-hmm.
gym, it's one
Mm-hmm.
song. It's the theme of Dragon Ball GT. It's called
Okay.
Dandan Kokoroko. It's like, again, a
Yeah.
Japanese song, but it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for me, it's that because I'm sure it taps into my childhood. They were struggling, and
Mm-hmm.
then they
Mm-hmm.
find a way to overcome their obstacles, and
Mm-hmm.
there is no lyrics on the song, which then
Mm-hmm.
like allows me to very connect with deep work, and gives me those good vibes that I need to to work hard and do it.
So you said Dragon Ball Z, was that it?
Yeah,
The
it's actually
theme song from
like the
Dragon Ball
last.
Z.
Yeah, so it's called Dragon
Okay,
Ball
I'm gonna look
GT.
it
I don't know
up.
if you. Yeah, I can put the
No,
link
my
maybe.
my son isn't in that era. I know that he loves manga and there's a different variation of manga, but I'll definitely look it up. Thank you for sharing. And regarding collaboration, what is the most common thing or yet even overlooked when it comes to reason for collaboration breakdowns in the workplace? And maybe it helps to share what you mean with collaboration breakdowns.
Yeah. So again, we talked a lot about meetings, but I think the
Mm-hmm.
meetings is the format that people tend to go to when they need to work together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have this
Yeah.
problem, I have this project, and this is why we have back to back, right? The first habit
Mm-hmm.
that we have is that we send a meeting invite, and we will figure it
Mm-hmm.
out when we are in the meeting. And so
Yeah.
that's the way we collaborate. And when you ask people, like, everyone has the same opinion about meetings. Like, they don't work, they're preventing us from being
Mm-hmm.
productive. Like, you have all those nice statistics. You even have read my website, like someone did read my website, and you've seen one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But and so if you ask those people like why those meetings are not effective, you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have, those basic answers like, yeah, because there was no agenda, because there was not no any goals defined, it's
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't invite the right stakeholders. It's because there was too
Yeah.
many people. So you have all those things, and obviously, if you have them, yes, it's gonna help a bit. But I
Mm-hmm.
still believe that if you have all of those things, you're not going to have still a great, engaging, productive session. This is why I call this like, oh, I got approved by Vivian.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes, yes. Please, can you please repeat what you just shared right now? Because people seem to think that it's just a formula, and there is a formula to it, but what you just mentioned regarding fixing, maybe knowing the stakeholders, maybe providing the agenda, and then all of a suddenly a meeting is effective. And you're just saying, no, you have to do more, you have to put in more work to make it more effective.
Yeah. So when the issues that I just mentioned, those, like,
Mm-hmm.
again, fixing the agenda, defining clear rules in the session, things
Yeah.
that we don't do. But if you do them, it's
Mm-hmm.
like putting a band-aid fix on a deep wound. Like, it's not
Yeah.
going to stop the bleeding. Like,
Yeah.
you need to
Yeah.
bring stitches, and again, I'm
Yeah.
not a health expert, so I will stop here the metaphor. But basically, like, if you look like how humans collaborate, like, there are things
Mm-hmm.
that we're not thinking about, like,
Yeah.
and again, to answer your question, because I need to answer the question at some point, like, the biggest problem that I see is that there is not the same understanding of the situation. you
Mm.
know you go into the meeting,
Yeah.
like, no matter what is the scope, what is the goal, or
Mm-hmm.
what is the topic, maybe you have an expert that is very familiar with the topic, it's clear for him,
Yeah.
but then you have all
Yeah.
the other people, and
Mm-hmm.
then they don't have the same background, they didn't maybe prepare, they didn't do any readings, it's a new topic, like, we are talking about
Yeah.
AI a lot today. We have those meetings,
Mm-hmm.
how can we leverage AI? Like, half of the room don't fully understand what is AI. Like, AI is more
I
than
think
chat
more than
gpt.
half. More than half, even though they are using ChatGPT and everything, more than half are not investing in training their AI skills or learning more about AI. So more than half.
So yeah, but I don't have the statistic, but you're probably right.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like, this is already the big obstacle for collaboration, is that we are
Yeah.
not starting at the same level of understanding.
Yeah.
So not only like, if we want to, like, this session to be productive and constructive, you want to
Mm-hmm.
give enough insight to everyone so that they can fully collaborate. And this is the beauty of collective intelligence, is like, taking advantage of different perspective from people with different
Yeah.
background, because they will look at things differently. But they will only be able to do that if they first understand the situation.
Yeah. I totally get it.
And also, like, you know, how we work, like linked to that topic, is that we have our short-term memories like very limited. Like again, like I'm gonna do the smart guy because I've looked for a statistic, but I think like on short term, the memory of humans can keep up to 7 plus minus 2 information. So it means that like 9 simple data point maximum, this is our capacity. And in a meeting, what happened is that information is thrown at you. Again, you know, you have the expert on AI, like, hey guys, we need to leverage this. I've looked at the architecture, there's some great opportunities, and boom, boom, boom. And like, if you want to survive and if you want to do the things that are expected from you to do, meaning like moving forward with the project, but what you're going to do, you're going to try to memorize this information.
Yeah.
So your mental energy is not even trying to understand it. It's like, I need to take notes, otherwise I will be missing something and I won't be able to take it out, and I will need to organize another meeting because I didn't understand anything on this one. So even our mental energy is not used properly. Our mental energy should be spent on trying to process the information and understand it. Ask question. And this is why, again, I'm spoiling, but like this is why facilitation is so powerful, because when in a good facilitated session, we try to make information visualized.
Yeah.
We use
because different brains process information differently, right? So that's why I love the graphics that you share also with the cards and the way that you simplify things. But also, most of the times, people are not met with their learning styles.
I definitely, but you know this, like, again, like it's the second topic. Like, if you look at why collaboration is so hard, it's like there are so many different brains, and people tend to summarize this as there are extrovert and introverts. And you're an expert on the topic.
No.
It's way more than this.
Yeah.
But if you just look at those two big type of population, like it's almost like 50% of the population is introvert. Introvert, they will process information silently. Extrovert, they're gonna say like they need to process information while they speak, and they will say sentences like, let me think out loud, and like propose information, share things. But all of those things, it can be confusing for others. They are preventing the introverts to process the information.
Exactly.
So this is another problem that we have, like in collaboration. I don't know if you need me to.
No. You're hitting right on the spot. I just wanted to add the following thing, because you mentioned a few things like leveling the playing field, knowing who is on the team, and this is the part where I want to bring in cultural intelligence, because you're mentioning introvert and extrovert, but also bringing the aspect of somebody from Asia, where a yes might mean a no. And here in the Western Europe, there are some countries that can be direct, like the Dutch can be direct, whilst in other regions of the world, they don't like the directness. They would rather have the manager or the leader lead and show their leadership instead of doing things through a democracy. And also the way we process information, whether you're introvert or extrovert, the way you consume information, whether it's through visuals, it's through keeping things simple, when it comes to language level as well, but also knowing who is on your team, who processes information, how. We don't demystify that. And also people sometimes feel like when they do that, they are showing up vulnerability as well. And that's where cultural intelligence can be a benefit factor of you not showing up with your vulnerability, but also showing where you are at and how you can collaborate better, so that the other person, for instance, you may think that I'm an extrovert because of my scarf or the way that I look on my picture. I'm more introverted than extra. I can be ambi, but I'm more introverted than extrovert as well. When I'm on stage, yes, you will see a combination of both. But when I'm not on stage, I will cocoon and do my thing in my introverted state. So just because you think somebody's like that doesn't mean that they are. And that's why we need to debunk or demystify all those um, labels or presumptions that you might have of somebody, because that can also hinder collaboration as well. Going to the next question. Let me see. How can leaders and team members recognize? Oh, sorry, this is a different question. Pardon me.
No problem. Maybe I can react
What
on what you
is?
said.
Oh, yeah, you can react, and then I'll follow up with this question. Please react on what I said, and then I'll follow up with this question.
Yeah, I will just say something because you're an inclusion expert, and I'm coming from the product design world, and there was like a big focus on accessibility the last years. And there is this saying, like, when you design for one,
Yeah.
it's actually like enable everyone. Like, you solve for one, you extend to many. Like you were explaining, like sometimes, people are not speaking English as their first language.
Exactly.
If you use simple words, yes, you're going to include that person, but it's going to make it also easier for the others.
Yeah.
And it comes with every principles to make very collaboration very inclusive.
Yeah.
Like the way you share information and stuff like that.
But just when you said in the beginning, you said like, if you don't know, you don't know, right? And if you have never encountered how collaboration can be, or how effective can be, or creating a rules of engagement, as I call it, rules of engagement for collaboration. Many workplaces, teams don't have a rules of engagement for collaboration. And that on its own, it's a challenge for a leader and also their teams to wish we want to be an effective team. We want to tap into high performance. We want to have effective communication, but there is no social contract for rules of engagement.
Yeah. Again, those things, like, as I said, I'm coming back to, they've never seen it before. Like most of the time they learn from someone who was like, again, figure it out on the job, and he saw someone running meetings like that or leading like that. So he believes that's the way to do it. And like, even if you're like, the first time that I see someone told me about like, so for this session, we're going to follow those rules, I was like, are we at school again? Like, you also have this judgment, like, oh, seriously? Like, is it needed? So there are those like wrong thoughts that are coming that may give this, like, make people like, skeptical about it. But when you understand like why those rules exist, why they can unlock, and usually they solve the problem that we were talking about. The fact that it's not inclusive, the way that there is too much information, that it confuses people.
Yeah.
So you're right. With those rules, we can actually make collaboration way more.
But also, when I say rules, I mean rules of engagement, of co-creating the rules, right? Because sometimes a rule feels like it's one direction. And when I set up my sessions, or when I ask for the rules of, or when I share my rules of engagement, I try to ask everybody, is there something missing from what I feel like is needed for this session to be psychologically safe, engaging, and interactive? And oftentimes people will bring in their own elements, their own ingredients, so that it's not a statistic or a static thing. It's an interactive thing that can grow and can develop every time I provide that as well.
I love that. I think it's so smart. Like, there is this thing coming from Strategizer. It's called the Manual of Me. And like, it's like a small canvas.
Love that. Yeah.
And,
yeah.
So for those who don't know, like, the Manual of Me, you have like a couple of questions, and the goal is to understand better the needs of everyone in the team. And there is this question, like, what do you need to be working at your best? And like, the fact to know it, like, oh, then you can make a rule out of it. It can be part of that. So I really love the fact that you're asking people to actually contribute to the rules of engagement.
It's about them. Why should I stand there as a trainer, as a facilitator, and only lecture? I mean, collaboration, facilitation, a meeting should be going different directions, right? Including everybody. Everybody should be part of the session where everybody feels like they can bring in their whole self or their whole self to make this more engaging, more interactive. Because that's my definition of collaboration, by the way.
And I love that because you said it's about them.
Yeah.
Like, as
Yeah.
facilitators, we know that it's like we are there to serve the
Mm-hmm.
participants. But
Yeah.
since the
Yeah.
beginning of the talk, we are talking about the leaders. And I
Mm.
believe there is this misconception. They believe it's about themselves. I
Yeah.
want you guys to achieve that so that it helps me with my goal, with what I promised to my management.
Exactly.
So that's also one of the other problems.
Can I
Cool.
ask you to repeat that again? What do you want to share with the leaders? What is that thing that you just shared regarding the leaders? Because sometimes people in the back need to also hear that what you are sharing right now.
Yeah. So the leaders need to realize that it's not about them, but it's about the people they have in their team. And the only way
Mm.
that they will be achieve their ambition is by
Mm-hmm.
understanding them and like creating the space where their team can shine. And if their team will shine, at the end of the day, it will make them shine. And that's how you lead. And you said something in the beginning of the talk that I kept in mind is like some leaders are inspiring because like they are doing it like they've been born with a gift. Like those like
Mm-hmm.
old leaders, like those Simon Sinek guys, like you
Yeah.
listen to them, it's like wow, they're so smart. They
Yeah.
Because they have charisma, they know how to choose the proper words. So they're lucky enough. But most of the people, they don't know. They need to learn those skills.
Yeah. And
And
Simon Sinek, he didn't just start out, or let's put Obama in there, or Nelson Mandela, or somebody else. Nobody started, and also Michelle Obama, by the way, let's put in some women. Nobody
even
just
in your answer,
started.
you're inclusive.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody just started just from the get go. Even when I look back, and I think when you look back to your first presentation or your first facilitation or your first collaboration, nobody started out being perfect. I make mistakes. I cringe even when I look back, but I'm also proud of where I am right
Good
now and
job.
how I started this live stream. But they all started from a place of not knowing what they do, imposter syndrome. Let's be real about it. Every facilitator, every person in the workplace has a dose of imposter syndrome. But the more you practice, the more you put yourself out there, the more you put your purpose, your passion above fear, that's when you hit the sweet spot. So I know that Simon Sinek and all the others are, even Snoop Dogg, when he started, nobody just started from the get-go. They all they all trained in craft, became better, started tapping into different networks, became better. And now when they talk, they can spit, they can connect, they can create that connection even when they talk for 2 minutes.
I love it, Vivian. Because we're
Yeah.
seeing these people on YouTube with these huge crowd and like
Yeah.
doing this TED talk. But
And they got
to be there,
the visual editors as well to make it all fancy, right?
it's because like no, they're so great because they've said those same things so many
Mm-hmm.
times that when you ask them a question,
Exactly.
you feel like, oh, the answer is so crisp, it's perfect, like every
Mm-hmm.
word,
Yeah.
because it's just repetition. And
Mm-hmm.
when we
True.
see that, it's like, oh, I cannot do it because I'm not that charismatic, I'm not good with my words. But you're
Yet.
comparing yourself with someone that have done it
Mm-hmm.
like hundreds of times.
Yeah. And I always stop my clients by saying, yet. I'm not there yet. I haven't done this yet. Even myself, born and raised in the Netherlands, Ghanaian roots. The English that I spoke, it was a bit Dutch English, so I call it Dunglish. And also at home, I learned Pidgin English, which is an African slang of English as well. And I forced myself to do these sessions, to do more talks, to do more training, but also to do this podcast or this live stream so that I can practice my English pronunciation better, but also learn from you, learn from other people that I'm speaking with. Because in the end, and that is a secret of mine, I have learned from all my guest speakers. I've learned something valuable when it comes to public speaking, but also the way they talk. It's not that I erase who I am or what I do, but every guest speaker is adding value to who I am as a speaker.
And look at you now.
Yeah.
It's such an awesome host. Like, you have those cards. Your English is perfect. Like, this is
Yeah.
so nice, Vivian. And this is
Yeah.
also the
Yeah.
reason why I started my podcast. I just wanted to learn from people. I
Yeah.
had no
Yeah.
ambition of like views or like subscribers. I was like, this is
Mhm.
the cheapest way to learn. And like, there is always
It's
something
well,
that you need to say.
you're saying it's cheap, but it's not
No, I
always
just
cheap.
want to know it's cheap.
We are both investing in this, right? We are both doing this in of we could have just sit with our family and do this, right? So it's also about how can we leverage our knowledge and bring in other guest speakers so that they can learn from collaboration. We just met. In all fairness and transparency, I met Mehdi last year, and I even met him, I think, online in the summer, and that's when I saw, all the ads and all the collaborations that you were doing, and then from the other came the other, and then realizing that we are coming to an event in March together where we are actually going to meet each other face to face. This is also leveraging that collaboration and seeing how we can collaborate better, right? So putting that into practice as well. I feel like I'm deviating from the question, so I wanna go back to the collaboration deficit because that's what
I'm not
we are
helping,
here
right?
for.
Let's go.
So let's bring back, in your experience, what role does unclear purpose or conflicting priorities play in hindering successful, effective collaboration?
Okay, so let me dissect this question.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I will go like this. Like, first thing first, I think even those leaders, they don't know exactly what they want. Like, again, I've been a consultant for 9 years. I've been like answering RFPs, customer requests.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I was like, obviously he knows what he wants because he wrote the RFPs or because he contacted us. And then I asked those questions, and then I see that most of the time they don't have this clarity on what they are trying to achieve, on the why they
And
want to
also, in all
achieve.
fairness, not all leaders get fair training to pinpoint that, to become a better leader, right? To be clear on their goals and where they want to go.
Yeah. And hopefully for us, we are facilitators, so we navigate that that the thing that is not clear, we can ask question, we can make it clear, and it's also the
Yeah,
value that we already bring from the start. But I mean, like, if you don't know
exactly.
exactly what needs to achieve, like, how can you have a proper session if the goal is not
Yeah,
clear?
yeah,
And
yeah,
the
yeah.
second thing, like, because there was also like the purpose, right? If unclear purpose,
Yeah.
I think the purpose brings different aspect based on the type of challenge, but like it can be a driver for people. Like, if they really understand the why something needs to be done, why is it important for the team, but there is
Yeah.
more chance that they will do it if it matches, of course, their value and their own why. Let me think about an example. Like, yeah, here I was talking about drive, but it can be something else. Like, it can be about understanding. Like, oh, no, I understand this, even if I don't agree with the decision, because the purpose of behind it is clear and has been shared. I can understand that, and it's easier for me to
Yeah.
accept the decision that the leader took that is against my, I don't know, my values, my against my the way I saw how to solve this problem. So I think, like, bringing this clarity can only bring the effectiveness of what will come after when people leave.
Definitely. Definitely. Because not having the clarity or not connecting the purpose to the team goals or their why, in the end, people, when this happens too often, it will amplify meeting hangovers, right? So a meeting hangover is when you join a meeting and the meeting wasn't successful. People sometimes get a hangover or from how bad the session was, and it might deactivate or how do you say disengage people for the upcoming days, even the upcoming sessions where they're thinking about that meeting was really bad. How could that person, and they take that thought with them to their future engagement. How effective are people then? And eventually, also, it can even tap into them disengaging from the team or the company as well. And I'm not saying that having a bad meeting can be the resource of people leaving, but having a dysfunction within collaboration, having the collaboration deficit, that can bring your team goal into risk. That's a risk for your team goal.
And again, I look at like the purpose behind an initiative, behind a whole project, something that people are going to work for, I don't know, a year or 2 years. Like, yes, they're gonna be like the term that you use, like hangover from the meeting. But then it
Yeah.
also means that every meeting linked to that initiative is like, oh, I still need to go for that. Like
Exactly.
nothing will happen. I don't want to engage
Exactly.
anymore because I know it's gonna be this way.
Yeah.
So we want to avoid that.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I agree. And let me
Maybe
see.
Vivian, I don't like tell me if we're off time. But like in like if we take change project, right? Like changing is so hard. Like this is where like spending some time on the why we need to change, and understanding it from the organization perspective for sure, but also from the people perspective. And this will help you to change. So I think there are also a type of work that is even more dependent of making sure that the purpose has been clearly defined and people had the chance to reflect on that.
Yeah. Also be transparent about what's in it for me on a personal level, right? So yes, the company needs change, or maybe the company is doing a reorganization. After that, align people. Where are we going? I know that we are with less people. Well, what can we do together to keep that engagement up? And what's in it for me as the individual? What's in it for the team from a team perspective, but also what's in it for the organization? Oftentimes, those steps are missed or not clarified for the individual, where one individual can cause disengagement for so many other people. I've seen within an organization that one person was leaving and that it caused a disengagement for other people to also leave as well. Within 1 year, 6 people left.
Yeah.
And how can you move forward? How can you excel in your team goals or in your organization goals when you're dealing with people walking away from your organization? It says something about your organization. It also says something about the leader, about those involved in that whole process. It says something about it. And what are you going to do with that feedback? I see Saeed sharing something. I think it has to do with the podcasting. So the cheapest, but the greatest. Yes. Don't underestimate podcasting. It may be the cheapest though, but there is a lot of work in it as well, but definitely reachable when you want to share. Do you know him? Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because I didn't pick, like, I think like you didn't like the cheap, but I didn't want to say it in a bad way. I mean, like,
no, you're not
again,
saying it in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's approachable. It's reachable. Everybody can start a podcast and put themselves out there. But I also want to put in, people should not underestimate what comes with a podcast. Yeah.
And also, like, because even at the end, if the intention is to learn, Of
Mm-hmm.
course, at the end, when you spend time on it, you want it to be successful. And you like
Exactly.
episode after episode, live stream after live stream, and then
Yeah.
like it doesn't
Yeah.
grow. I can tell you, like,
No.
even if you say you don't care, like those numbers, they can hurt sometimes. Like my last YouTube
They
video,
can
20
hurt.
views. I was like, oh, it's such a great episode.
But Mehdi, look. I want to share something. I am doing this stream session. I know that it's in the evening for Europe, where people within Europe might not even watch. So I know that. But then again, they can watch the replay. They can watch the YouTube, and on top of that, people who signed up for this session will get a PDF with the infographic. That's what I've been doing lately as well. And that is also really valuable to get a different visual of what we shared. And hopefully they will walk back to that. So the numbers to me, in all fairness, I don't have Oprah Winfrey or Snoop Dogg numbers, but we
Yet,
only need a few people. Yes, exactly. Thank you. We only need a few impactful people watching this session and seeing how the work we do can help fix
yeah,
collaboration within their team. That's how I put this in place. But also people need to know about your work, what you do and how you do that. And the same for me. And why not inspire people if they have never encountered what it can be to build a team where collaboration and communication happens effectively? Why not? Because if
and
I
I
was
think
in for the numbers game, I would have stopped early on in starting this. And again, I don't have the ambition to be, the super influencer, but I'm happy where I am. And of course, when I'm tapping in new areas, new connections, great and valuable. But I'm also here to educate, to inspire, to empower those in the workplace that feel like they work in a team that needs some tweaks in collaborating better.
And at the end of the day, as we often say, there are
Mm-hmm.
vanity metrics because you can have thousands of views
Yeah.
and not have an impact on a single soul. And here, like we both had, like I'm sure you had this moment where you received this message, like, "Oh, I've loved watching the live stream. It
Exactly.
changed my
Exactly.
perspective." Like those messages,
Yeah.
at the end of the
Yeah.
day, those are the things that keeps. Like I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
long have you been doing that live stream, but that makes it
Six
going.
years.
6 years. Wow.
6 years. 6
So you
years.
see, like,
When
yeah,
LinkedIn started in 2019, I did it. I started jumping in and also doing it in Dutch and in English. I'm now predominantly do it only in English because it's easier and also to reach more people as well. But 6 years, and it's a joy. It's a joy for me. It's a joy.
and I want to say something else is
Mm-hmm.
I had the chance in my career to have two extreme. One extreme that I
Mm-hmm.
had the best team, and I was not even the
Mm-hmm.
leader in this team. I was part of a great team
Yeah.
of talent. We
Mm-hmm.
were having so much fun. We were productive. We understood each other. We were like supportive of each other. Like we can say that there was really a safe space, which is like the magic
Mm-hmm.
ingredient for team
Exactly.
effectiveness.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I didn't like my job.
Mm.
Then I moved to another extreme where I didn't like the team or like the culture of that company,
Yeah.
but I was loving my job.
Yeah.
And of course, this is where I've had the chance to practice a lot about facilitation. But I can
Mm-hmm.
tell you that those moments with my ex-colleagues will, like, I think in my heart, will still
Mm-hmm.
be the best day of in the workspace.
Yeah.
And this is
But I
why, like,
also,
yeah, tell me.
yeah. No, what you are saying, it reminds me of teams and leaders and organization not putting in the effort of working on team building and only
Mm.
doing it maybe once per year. Whilst when you put different people together within the world right now, the work environment right now, where people from Europe, from Asia, from Africa, from America, from Latin America can come into the workplace and bring all these different ingredients together, and nobody is helping them aligning. Nobody's helping them, like here in the Netherlands or in Germany, we like direct communication. Maybe in Belgium, we soften the direct communication. Whereas in Asia, people have a way of bringing information, not hurting the feelings, whilst here it's just like direct, direct, direct. If you don't invest in that, and that's also the base of cultural intelligence, if you don't invest in that, then your team will forever dance the ineffective collaboration dance, but also you will keep the deficit of collaboration. You keep that, you maintain that. And you as a leader will get annoyed with people not doing what you say, but you also not understanding them. They are not understanding you, and they are not understanding each other, because a valuable foundation that is often being dismissed, and that is investing in team building, team collaboration. It can be done with fun and games. Sometimes people think that just going out on the sea one time, one day, putting everything there,
Check.
and then all of a suddenly it's Disney. Everything works. Everybody's having fun. Doesn't work that way. Invest in collaboration. My preference, though, do that at least once a quarter or once every 2 months. If you have the budget it in for once every month, or at least like ideal sweet spot is 5 to 10 times, to craft and find ways to work together better. What do you have to add, Mehdi?
Oh, it's funny because it's actually like I have a friend of mine who told me like, yeah, we're going to have this offsite in this like, and they sent me the information, like beautiful venue. They have the afternoon booked, and basically there is no plan of how this meeting will be facilitated. Like there will be drinks, so we will have fun, right? And then I will present some stuff. So first it feels like you said, like it's a checkbox, like, oh, we need to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe you have budget and you spend it on the venue, but then you don't think about the right things. Like, what are we going to do?
No,
and I believe it's a balance.
Sorry, I actually laugh because you're hitting the nail on the spot, where they have a budget of 15,000 euros and they spend like 10,000 euros on the budget. And of course, a little bit food, food that isn't delightful, but they spend it on a little bit food. Yeah, I mean, I have to be petty. I value events where food goes beyond bread with cheese. I'm just putting it out there.
I had a lot of people in my team through the years, and no matter how great the event is, if the food is not good, I can tell you it was like it was a nightmare. It was always people got complaining. I was like, seriously? The keynote speaker, the venue, the food was not good. There was not enough food.
I mean, look at our cultural background. Would you even dare to bring in your parents where there is no food, or the food ain't fooding?
No, you look at me. I'm a food. Of course, I understand the power of food, and this is why, again, in those type of things, you want to really think about the food. You want to think about like the entire experience. But what also a problem that I see is that it's more than just doing an escape game.
Yeah. Ooh.
So it's, as you said, it's working on those like ways of working within the team.
Yeah.
But also working on a big problem that prevents the team from being stronger, or I don't know, like there is a big project coming in. Maybe that's the right moment to take a break from the day-to-day and to work on that. Because when there is real stake, when there is a real challenge, this is also the moment where you create real connections within your team.
Yeah.
So I believe like a good retreat or a good offsite is like a moment for the team, a moment for, of course, connection, a bit of fun, but also a moment for deep work on something that is really worth taking a break of.
Yeah, and team building doesn't happen in an hour or two. Take a half day, or preferably one day, just invest. I see, and also another big name on my podcast on this slide. Hi, Saeed. Thank you for being here as well. And almost come to an end, but I do want to ask you something. What is something that you feel like I haven't asked you yet? What do people need to know about you?
They need to know about me. I was more
Mm,
thinking about the problem that we covered to see. So what I would just say, like, is that yes, we covered a lot about the root cause of collaboration, what they need to
mhm,
put in place, and I would say, like, guys, check out the work of Vivian. Check
mhm,
what we do, what we share, and don't try to go from zero, like having those really bad meetings, to having those awesome workshops. Like, start small, try
mhm.
to pick like one trick that will make the session more inclusive, or a way to make information sharing easier for people, and slowly by slowly you will improve your session, and then you can maybe, I don't know, organize a full workshop and build up on that. And then, of course, if you want some amazing tool to design
I
better
was just about
workshop,
to say, I was just about to give you this one. I was just about to give you this one. So good that you are starting about that. I was just like, what is he doing? You have a whole big poster on the side, and you're not, this is your moment to shine. So please use that moment to shine, Mehdi.
that's lovely. I didn't like, I was like, value first, and then I sell. So,
I
guys,
appreciate you. I appreciate you.
so I've created this tool. It's called the workshop deck. It's a set of
Hmm.
52 cards. There is 28 activities that you can use to design any type of session. There is a framework
Hmm.
in it. It's color coded, so you just need to follow the colors, and it will give you the confidence that this workshop will deliver, because it's I've tried this like hundreds of times for each, and there is a reason why they're in this deck. So there is the physical product that I can ship to you. There is also the app, and there is a course if you also want to go deeper. I will put the information somewhere. I will say, otherwise you can
I
check
would
my
say
website.
I would say share it on LinkedIn, but also for those of you who are following this on Facebook or on YouTube, check out Mehdi's website so that, or LinkedIn, look him up and find out what he's organizing. I know that he's hosting frequent, or sometimes he's hosting sessions where you can see and experience what he's doing as well. I've attended one as well, and really valuable. And I just want to say, okay, Saeed is sharing. Bring your own food. Um, it comes with caution. I want to know how you are cooking. I want to know which kitchen you are cooking and what the food you're bringing. But I do recommend a potluck. And also, Saeed said, I was paid to ask. Many, do you also have your card deck? Thank you,
Like,
Saeed, for sharing it, because you're here for sharing what you do. And also, I ordered, the card deck. Looks amazing, and it's really valuable for creating that effective collaboration. But also, no, both of us are facilitators. We are collaboration genius, where sometimes, I wouldn't say sometimes, most of the times, it helped to bring outside perspective in to learn how you can craft your ideal meeting recipe or ideal collaboration recipe. And from there on, you can spice things up with the card deck, or spice things up with different tools to keep it engaging. It's like a relationship. You need to keep the relationship in the workplace fresh, and don't do the routine thing. Okay, now we're going to
mm,
do it. Spice things up, spice it up, use cinnamon, use something extra ingredients to make work fun again, to make collaboration more fun again.
I love this. Actually, it's one of my
Yeah.
principles is like, keep experimenting, see what
Mm,
works, and then you can integrate
yeah,
it in your toolkit. And then it gives you
exactly.
these huge things to adapt to any type of situation. But Vivian, I want to tell
Exactly.
you, like, I was really disappointed to not see the workshop deck on your shelf, because I think I see another deck and I don't see mine.
You mean you see my deck, which I haven't said anything about, which I haven't said. Well, I knew that you were showing up here with your workshop deck, so I'm heavily promoting it. I'm sharing it right now, so I
Okay.
understand that. But if I'm going to share all the things that all my guest speakers are saying, I don't have the storage space for that. So I hope you forgive me. I hope you understand, but this is my way of amplifying your message as well.
No, I was kidding. Thanks a lot for giving me the space to promote my stuff.
Exactly. One final thing. What's your wish for 2030? Because we have like less than 4 years and we need to humanize the workplace and especially collaboration.
I think it's bringing like making sure that everyone is trained on facilitation. I think today
Mm,
facilitation is this niche thing only for facilitators.
mm-hmm,
Sometimes, there is this thing called facilitative leadership. So at some point, leaders may have some of those trainings, but because of
mm-hmm.
the packaging, when you see what's inside those training, it feels more leadership than facilitation.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think, like, yeah, the problems that we are going to face are going to become more and more complex. AI
yeah,
is there, it's not going to help it. Like, it's over the time where one human can solve the complex challenge by himself. We need each other,
exactly.
and it
Exactly.
doesn't need to be painful. It doesn't need to be like all the situation that we described. So if
Yeah,
those companies can realize that, then train their people, give them the skills to make those sessions, their time together, more engaging. It will serve the workplace, and I'm sure people will be more happy to achieve
mm,
great things. Like, yes,
yeah,
outcome is
I,
important, but I also think the way to getting to the outcome is important. Like, I have this thing, like, my goal is to deliver the workshop outcome, the goal of the
mm-hmm,
clients. That's the first thing, but my second goal is that people have a great time while working with me, so that they can see, like, oh, it's actually possible to achieve great things. Well, I'm not gonna say having fun
exactly.
because it's too, but while having a pleasant moment.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I love what you share. I'm going to say thank you for being a guest speaker. I had so much fun. I hope that you enjoyed this conversation, even though we went off script, but all the things that we shared was valuable for teams, for boosting collaboration and communication as well. And I also want to invite people to a session that I'm doing on Zoom, which is all about leading effectively to unlock high performance within teams. It will happen on Monday night between 3 and 3:45 p.m. So you have to scan the QR code to know that. I'll definitely, for those of you who are watching or watching the replay, I will make sure to share that. But this is a once in a lifetime. It's like 30 minutes and a Q&A for 50 minutes as well to learn more about how to unlock high performance. And Mehdi, where can people find you?
So thanks for sharing. First, I will say, like, you need to go there, guys. So I'm sure it's gonna be a session full of value, and I will be there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like, I think the channel where I'm the most present and doing stuff, sharing content, is LinkedIn. So you can, like, check my
Mm-hmm.
name on LinkedIn. Otherwise, I have a YouTube channel. I'm planning to double down this year, where I share the
Mm-hmm.
podcast. It's gonna be a video every week, and
Mm.
you have a couple of them
A
to keep
video
patient.
every week.
And that's the challenge of, like, as from next week.
Yeah.
So before it was
Mm.
bi-weekly, now I'm going to weekly. So let's see if I make it happen.
Okay.
You
Okay.
owe
We
my
will make it happen.
accountability. Awesome.
Well, I see Saeed sharing. Real pleasure to listen
Oh,
to both of you. So thank you for Saeed for joining. Oh, both Saeeds or more people, right? So
thanks,
even
Said,
over
by the way,
have a
because I
great
also
day.
know him. I worked with him in the past, so it's really nice to see him here. And
Yeah,
I
thank you
work with the
both.
other Said now. So
I know, I know, I know. So thank you, everybody who's watching or everybody who's listening to the replay or listening to the podcast. This was a joy for me to host that. If you have any questions, please share them so that I can share them also with Mehdi as well. And have a good day, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Bye,
thank you,
everybody.
Vivian. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.